Hey family, I wanted to come on here live today and talk about some things and show you some things. This is the cannibalclub.org, based supposedly in Los Angeles, California. And I went to events, and this is what I found. I want to show you this video real quick. Hmm. Well, I won't let you suffer through that too much longer. I think it's back at the end. But anyway, that was that. No. Speaking about cannibalism, was told by my cousin. My cousin is a police officer that she was a police officer, but that in 1950, United States outlawed cannibalism, but that isn't true. They actually did not. There's no laws against it, It's individual states. And majority of the states don't em- emphasize what type of cannibalism. The only state that does emphasize the type of cannibalism is Idaho. And if you look up this, you can find out more about it over here. Here we go. This talks about the law. And it gets technical, as you, of course, to be expected. And of course, you know about how we saved them in the Dark Ages and brought light in order to 1,000 years of war, impoverished conditions, and sickness and illnesses, diseases. Contrary to the ancient notion of Africa being primitive and contributing very little to civilization, it was the Moors who civilized Europe. At the height of Spanish Inquisition 408 years ago, in 1609, King Philip III of Spain signed an order that essentially led to the ethnic cleansing of Muslims from the European country. In Western narratives, the Moors have been called uncivilized, barbaric, and rash. In Shakespeare's Othello, Lagos refers to Othello as Barbary horse and black ram, associating the blackness to carnality and barbarianism. But contrary to the racist notion of Africa being primitive and contributing very little to civilization, it was black Muslims who civilized Europe and paved the way to knowledge and civilization. We cultivate. Hi, S. Wiseman. I'm doing great. My angle today is to show the people how Satan is being used as a mask, and how we have to get out of these people's ideology of way terminology is seen, and how we see ourselves and how we see them and how we see the world in general is not the way it truly is. That's why they call it the matrix. They call it the illusion. Because Satan, Lucifer, did not fall from grace. He actually came down, which is each one of us in our melanin state, came down, and we're in suits. We come down in skin, in suits, because coming from the cosmos, where we come from, or the underworld, as they say, there's a transition, and transition in physical form that has to take place, because in any other place you would be a different physical form. But we come down because we're cultivators. We're ones who grow. We bring life. We bring light. And that's what our purpose here on planet was to be. to bring light to creation. But as you see, this has been a difficult task, and I'm trying to show how in history, I show in the now what's going on with cannibalism and going back to their barbaric ways, their hateful ways, their nature, and how we, as light bringers, brought them out, and how they turned everything around and they use it as a cover. Now they use the name of Satan as a cover, when Satan is what is inside of our bodies that came down. We're extraterrestrials. We came down to bring light, to bring goodness, to bring, and to them that's evil. So they're uh, rebelling. So it's evil what we're bringing, the light that we're bringing, they call evil. And they have a lot of our people into Christianity and having them believe something spiritual is physical. Because now we're at the state where we're both physical and spiritual beings. But we are definitely the light bringers. That's what I'm trying to prove. And so I'm reading this article on Contrary to the Race. It's called The Great Mosque in Cordoba, built from 784 to 987 AD. And it's talking about how, contrary to what people believe today or understand, the Moors, the black man and woman, were the ones who civilized and brought sanity to these other beings, because they lack what we have. To lack melanin is to lack a soul, and that's something that a lot of people don't have the understanding of. And I'm trying to bring that across. That's my point of my whole thing today. And it's kind of difficult when the whole world has taken on the understanding of the dominant physical society, soulless society. Okay. According to the renowned Senegalese historian and anthropologist Cheikh Anta Diop, yes, it should be taught in the public schools, but it's not going to be taught in these public schools in this matrix, because it would bring everything down. That's why I'm big on homeschooling. But my oldest child, she didn't, at the time I was transitioning and learning, so I didn't have a clue. I just stuck her in schools. And I'm finding that I'm paying the price because she's, it's very hard and difficult to deal with. But my second child definitely is not going to be put in public school. She's going to be homeschooled. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned. I mean, you get a second chance, though, at it. So that's one good thing about it. So, yeah, I agree. This should be taught. But in this society, yeah, maybe we can get together, because I'm going to be home. My baby, she's only 2, and I want to homeschool, and I'm going to need assistance. I'm going to need some information. And the groups here where I'm at, there's one black group, but I don't know. Maybe I can get involved with them. But we're going to have to speak later on the side, because I don't want to give out too much information. But The Sheikh Anta Diop and many others, some of the greatest empires in the world, were African empires. Okay, I'll send you my email. But the mainstream media continues to deny this fact, shedding very little light on the education and culture hubs that these African empires once were. I'm going to also show you, as a matter of fact, I'm going to stop there reading and I'm going to come back to this article and I'm going to show you my husband's country. Okay, it's a video that they did to CNN. Uh, I probably have to go to YouTube. I didn't want to do that. Okay. To CNN. And it's about how Ghana, how CNN, it's called Dear CNN. I love this video. This is the country my husband is from, but, and then I'll show you the comments after this. This is Ghana at Work group. This video belongs to them. No copyright infringement meant by this video. It's amazing. Oh, they won't let me rotate. I hate that. Now you see why they told the French president, we don't need your money. We don't need your help. Great, great. Yeah. Have you been yet? I'm excited to go. I haven't been yet. My daughter has. She's been there. But she can't remember much. She was real young. She was about... Yeah, me too. I'm hoping soon. My daughter, when she went, she was about 4 years old. Yeah, that's that. But let me finish the article because they want to hide under disguise of Satan and Lucifer and throw our people off so that we can't bring them stability that they need. They don't want us over them. They don't want anything. So I know for a fact now that there are other beings like us because we were brought down. We were sent down. And we're constantly sent down. And that's why I say having a soul is eternal. And without it, there just isn't anything. And the difference between us and them is they were made here. So they are the creation, but they have a shorter time span because they were created. Like an animal can go extinct, and many have went extinct. They too can, because the animals are creations by our beings as well. And it's amazing how all this has been revealed. So we know that we have the understanding that it's not going to be much longer. So we just have we have their understanding of it that they want us to have, instead of understanding and listening to the ancestors tell us, because they're still around and they're inside of us, inside out. Everything's inside out for us. We're in a warped sense of reality right now because we're upside down, inside out, like that Diana Ross's song. So let me get back to the article if I can find it. What did I do with the article? Okay, right here. Okay, so I read about shake. Okay, right there. We go to this next thing. During the formation of Europe's first civilization in Greece, it was black Africans from Nile Valley who civilized the Greeks. Later, as Greece handed over the acquired culture to the Romans, who also almost lost it, initiating the Dark Ages. The Moors came onto the scene and helped restore civilization. In 711 AD, after the collapse of the Roman Empire, the warring tribes from the Caucasus were pushed into the Western Europe, where the Moors invaded the Spanish shores, bringing culture to these barbaric tribes. The African Muslims ruled over Spain, Portugal, southern France, and North Africa for over 700 years. The Middle Ages are often referred to as Dark Ages because there was little to no scientific or cultural progress. This might hold true for Christian Europe, but not for Muslim Spain. While the monarch of France, Germany, and England dwelled in barns with no ventilation systems and were convinced that their subjects shouldn't indulge in cleanliness as it amounted to sinning. From their understanding, Muslim Spain was always ahead, building 600 public baths. See, this is the point right here. While we should never, it's very dangerous to follow anything they tell us. Because when they gave us the book, they didn't give it to us for goodness, for any benefit for us. They gave it to us purely for benefit of themselves. In the 10th century, Cordoba, the capital of the Moorish Spain, was deemed the most modern city in Europe. The city with 500,000 inhabitants, boasted street lighting, 50 hospitals with running water, 70 libraries, and 500 mosques. Ruled by Catholic Church, cities such as London and Paris did not see street lamps and paved roads until hundreds of years later. You know, I'm beginning to understand clearly what happened. Because when they were building these churches, I'm talking about the Moors now, the blacks that decided to separate out and take a Bible, take the book from Kemet, our ancient ancestors. So they stopped listening to orders from above. See, that's all we have to do is listen to the orders that we've been given. Because I do sincerely have knowledge and understanding that they are still around us in different form. As Wiseman, have you checked out my cloud video? Because after I started connecting spiritually with the ancestors and stuff, strange things around me started happening. I started getting clouds around me. Yeah, my cloud video is on YouTube. I'll double check and see if people can see it. I don't know if I made it. I'm hoping I didn't make it private. I don't think I made it private. But if I made it private, I would surely make it back public. And I've had that's the second cloud video since I've been over since 20. I want to say 2013 maybe 14. Since 2014 maybe. I did another video on Facebook where I had literally had a stay intuitive to and communicate, telecommunication, stay in tuned, because a lot of this information I would have never thought of unless I was guided to think of it and to bring it. I don't just, I had no clue before of any of this. I was just like, I could have been categorized as a coon. I don't know, a long time ago. But I'd say before 2012, I woke up. I struggled to wake up in 2012, I'd say. And I would also say I probably got my nigger moments in those days too. But I sincerely believe that when you're on that path, they'll start showing you signs. And I've had 2 clouds. And I was lucky to be able to videotape both clouds. One's on Facebook and one I did on YouTube. And if I made that one, my second one private, I would surely try to make that one public. And they both were live. I did a Facebook Live. I need to find the Facebook Live one with the cloud. The cloud was during a stormy weather, and the cloud was just hovering right low over me, my house. It was real close. It was lit up. It was light in it. And sometimes I think it could be crafts, ships covered up and trying to go undetected. And actually, that wasn't, I think I had another one when I was in the parking lot of Michael's and me and my baby in the car. And it abruptly started raining. And I took a picture of what I saw in the sky. And that too was on Facebook. I have majority of my videos as Wiseman are when I first started talking to people are on Facebook. At first, I used to just chat on Facebook about these things, but now I turned it into Facebook Live videos, and then I moved to YouTube. So let me finish reading this. Okay. Okay. In the 10th century, Cordoba, the capital of Moorish Spain, was deemed the most modern city in Europe. The city, with 500,000 inhabitants, boasted street lighting, 50 hospitals with running water, 70 libraries, 500 mosques ruled by the Catholic Church. Cities such as London and Paris did not see street lamps and paved roads until hundreds of years later. And so when you think about it, our people did divide themselves. And like I said, we suffer that today because um, half of them wanted to go and create a world, and half of us wanted to stay and try to, uh, I guess, wanted to stay in our own, pretty much in our own lane, in our own ways. We knew that it was danger and trying to um, go and deal with the wild people. Of course, they had taken over Kemet, and they had their mulattoes. Mulattoes were majority of the ones that were taking us down because of the rape of these Caucasians. They used it as war. It's always been a point of war for them, a tactic to against us. But we even see it here today in America as the same tactic. Yes, it's a war tactic. And now they're doing our men. You know, we always known that they were threatened by our men. And now they have softened our men up, made them sympathetic, made them all believe that we are all one people and that we have this dream and hopes of peace, which doesn't exist. They fed us this whole fictitious facade, and now our men have fell for it. True. Yeah, very, very true. Because the whole thing is we don't understand the situation too well. We don't understand the situation too well, like the ancestors did. You know, the ancestors understood not to mingle with anyone outside of themselves. Because, like, I did a video on only black men and black women can make an extraterrestrial being. And what they don't understand, an extraterrestrial being is a soul. It's the soul within the dark bodies of people. We are dark bodies of people because we are wearing a suit. So the soul is in a suit so that we can survive this atmosphere. See, they don't have that. They don't have that. They're the entities on this planet that were made for this planet to take care of this planet, but something went wrong and they're not taking care of the planet. They're not doing what they were created to do. So, and then again, I believe sincerely that they were never created to do that. Or they were created, but they can't do that because they're destructionists. They're parasites. They prove themselves to be parasites more than anything. And you know, when you spiritually look at everything, you know that we're in the bow, we're in the lowest level of the dimensions, which, of course, you see parasites like maggots, and that's what they are. The maggots inside of our bow. So we're inside of our own bow of the planet, and we have to escalate high into the brain, into up out of the matrix into the brain, up into the higher chakra level, the head. That's where we have to get to spiritually. And let me finish this. Okay, according to the Center for Research in Globalization in Christian Europe, nearly 99% of the population was illiterate. Even a majority of the monarchs themselves could not read or write, while education was universal in Muslim Spain at a time when Europe and meager two universities. Spain boasted 17. Now, that's why you see that Merlin, if you ever watched that movie about the Merlin, he had a Moor under him. The Moor was teaching them the chematic science. That's how he learned the chematic science. So many of them had Moors teaching them and as teachers and stuff like that. And but they try to hide this. They try to hide these facts. The founders of the, but then they show it. They show the facts, and today we see it during slavery. What did they do? They took the young men, black men, and they had them with them in college. So it was kind of a smack in the face, basically. These people are so, it was so, I can say, I'm just saying, profound to me. Let's just say it that way. Okay, the founders of the Oxford University of England, the epitome of Western European education, took inspiration from the educational institutions of Spain, according to UNESCO's education sector, the oldest operating university in the world today. The University of Al Quran of Morocco was founded during the height of the Moorish Empire in 859 AD by a black woman, Fatima al-Fahri. Hey, Nubian, how you doing? Okay, exploration. Okay, the Muslims of Spain were also responsible for scientific revelation in Europe. They introduced the system that was game changer, and the lights. Well, what happened? It seemed like the electricity tried to go out. Okay. It's almost like the electricity tried to go out. Did they turn off the data? Okay. Let me see. Okay. It's like we had a glitch here. My electricity is on, but I don't know what's going on. But anyway, they introduced the number zero and decimal system that was a game changer in solving mathematical problems. Historical evidence suggests Africans took to the skies nearly 600 years before Leonardo da Vinci invented the hand glider. In 875, AD, Abbas ibn Firnas made the world's first scientific attempt to fly and was partially successful. Muslim Spain was known to have great navigational technology with skills of cartography and craftsmanship and shipbuilding, which were taken great advantage of by the monarchies of Spain, Portugal, after defeating and putting an end to African Muslim rule in the region of the 1400s, helping to launch the colonization of the Americas. So basically, I see it as trial and error for our people. We felt that if we brought our high science, magic, and our abilities to these people, that by chance we would save them or help them in some kind of way, or stop them from conquering all over. But it only proved that we could not change their nature by um, by simply giving them the knowledge. They call us the snake people because, of course, Ireland's original men and women were black, and they were known as the snake people. And they got run out of Ireland, their homeland, by the Caucasians. So we're the snake people because of our Kundalini, the Kundalini, and how the Kundalini is like, it's like that, um, the serpent shaped like that. But it's not an evil thing. They make everything evil. There's no good in evil. It doesn't exist until we come up and meet these Caucasians. Then everything is divided up. They divide our astrology. They divide up our people by color, our own group of people. They divide up man and woman. They divide everything. Everything's a division with them. They have to break everything down. The body they break down everything. Everything, for them to understand it, they have to break it down, separate it, and pull it apart. So with that understanding, see, if we really as a people knew what we were dealing with, and that what we were believing and what we were allowing to influence us, instead of knowing thyself. Knowing thyself is important, because then we can overcome the traps and the snares that we've been put around and in. When we know ourselves, we can find a way to save ourselves from this and to come up out of it. But because majority of our people do not know themselves, that's what happens. They steal their souls. Their souls get taken. And I seriously believe that they are, from what they say, I'm going to go to here. Let me see. Maybe it's on the homepage where they're talking about how they believe. Okay. Okay, cuisine. Let's go to cuisine. Okay, collaborating. Okay. We serve the meats. They said somewhere in here where they, can't find it now. Okay, where they believe that eating the person, they're encompassing that person's soul or a person's um, nature. And I think that's real, real horrifying to me. Although I don't try to be one that fears anything, because fear, they feed off of our fear. So alone, just that alone gives them power. So I don't fear anything at all. I just think that this is just horrible, a horrible thing ever. And I don't know if this is real or not, but it seems like it's a real place. But I tried to find the location in Los Angeles, California, and I couldn't find a location. Usually places will give you a location if they're legit. But being that this may be an underground private club, who knows? But let me see here what this is. Well, no, it doesn't really give you too much information, but maybe it's a underground private club for all I know. So just know that, um, and Bobby Hemmett, I would recommend, I'm actually going to listen to him today. I would recommend him highly because he brings more clarity to the Caucasians' whole thing, backwards idea of us, and how they turned everything around to get us to run from it. Spookism they feed to the black Christians and make them fearful of themselves and run more to them, to the Caucasian. So this is why I think it's important to know thyself. So with that said, family, love, peace, and soul. And until next time, and I'm going to check on that video and see if the cloud video is live, is up and running. With that said, till next time, family, have a great, wonderful day. Bye. I'm going to check on your email and see if I got it. Did you put it in the, just put it in the comments at the bottom of this video. Love, peace, and soul. Bye.